like obviously I do despise this city, but like I was thinking, I haven't heard a tree like
Heard a
wind,
tree?
like trees blow in the wind
Okay.
in 12 years. Like anytime I go back to Seattle, I'm like, oh yeah,
The whistling.
you can like hear nature.
When you were talking about the Daily Show, you actually got flown out? I didn't know that.
Well, I should say they bought me a ticket to fly me out and then canceled, like when I'm literally getting my Uber because they're like, because there was like 1,000 of us who went out for it because it was.
I don't think it was 1,000.
It was it was Trevor's first.
Oh.
Before he had taken, so 1,000 people submitted, like Danny submitted, everyone submitted,
Yeah.
and I made it to the final 4, and they went with 3. Roy Wood. Then I was like, they were like Roy Wood. I was like, you immediately just. Well, he's your best.
One of the best stand-ups I've ever seen. Yeah.
The correct.
Yep.
Yep. The other two were it was a pregnant blonde woman and an Asian guy, and I was like, I can't say anything. Okay, got it.
Was it Ronnie who got it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know who the pregnant blonde woman was.
She was pregnant at the time. I don't think she's pregnant anymore.
Well, I figure she didn't hold on to this pregnancy for how many years was he doing it?
Yeah, that's the other thing. It was so long ago now, 7 years ago probably.
It would be very funny if there were just like a character on TV who's just perpetually pregnant. Who's just like the bit is that she's pregnant forever and never has the kid.
Yeah, there would be. I feel like that was on something. Where they just
But did someone do that?
They've done it reverse where they just make her fat all of a sudden.
Sure.
What? I can't remember.
I'm trying to. There was some show where they hid. Oh, Allison Hannigan on How I Met Your Mother. They hid her pregnancy behind boxes and tables and things.
That's how I would. Where you're just like, yeah, let's just make her fat out of nowhere.
Yep, sure.
She's just going through. We just don't really touch on it.
Well, they did the same thing with Robert McElhenney, where like he was on Always
when
Sunny.
he just beefed up at it, like he got fat and then he beefed. I love because they always did like how they've never gotten an Emmy for anything and not even nominated. And I'm like, yeah, no, name another actor on a TV show where the guy has gained 200 pounds, and lost it, all for the bit.
I'll do the gain. The losing seems hard to me. The gain sounds great.
Mean, he's fucking shredded now.
Wait, before we keep going, I should introduce the tea. So the tea that you and I are drinking is Bird & Blend's Hazelnut Rocher. It is a black tea, brews for 4 minutes, steeps at 212. I know you said earlier off the mic, not a big tea guy, but that you can. I don't want to oversight. I don't want to say you like it, that you can handle it.
I will say I do. I mean, as far as my parameter with tea goes, as far as enjoyment, I've never once, and I don't think I ever will have at least hot tea where I'm like, wow. I genuinely enjoy, but this is the closest you're gonna get me where I'm like,
okay,
yeah,
okay.
I can't tell you the last time I had finished or had a full cup of tea, and
that's why I invited you, was just to do that.
Absolutely,
I'm sending you home after.
There we
go.
Done. This is fun.
Are you an animal person? You like animals?
Yeah, I grew up with animals.
Do you have any? You don't have now. Do you?
No, I want a big dog is happening, but it's like this town is so racist against large dogs. Like you can't like
racist against
everyone
large dogs.
You have to either be a millionaire homeowner,
sure,
or accept a Chihuahua. And you're like, and I
will not do that.
I love animals. I do have a sociopath. I hate small dogs. I hate them. I won't. If you are a woman with a small dog, I won't date you. Yeah. I won't even consider it. I detest small dogs. Anything that exists, that strictly because we allow them to exist. You don't meet a Pomeranian in the wild. Like if it's just, they're useless and they bark and they're like, because they're scared at everything.
We have a friend with a Pomeranian.
If they listen, I fucking hate. Anyway, I could see a chihuahua get hit by a car and finish my sandwich. But,
holy hell. This is why I wanted you on here.
I do love animals. But yeah, I grew up. My mom was one of those moms. You come home, she had something new. Cats. We always had
three.
We had 3. We had a half wolf, half Malamute. We had horses.
You say half wolf?
Yeah.
Is that real?
Mm-hmm. We had an acre, and her name was Akina. She was massive, and she kept getting out, and my dad furious, and he was just like, go outside, find the hole she dug, and don't come back inside until you find it. Which is,
why was she digging holes?
Well, he couldn't figure out how she was getting out.
Oh,
because she kept get it. So, and she had a full shock collar on, full blast, because we can't. She kept getting out, and we had lawyers who lived. We had
You sued her. You sued the dog.
Gay lawyers lived like half a block up, and they had chickens, and she would go eat the chickens. So I'm out there. I searched the whole perimeter, not one, not a hole, nothing. Then she's just kind of looking at me, and then a car goes by. We had 6-foot fence around the whole thing. A car goes by, pickup truck goes by with the dog in the back. Akina sees the dog, flatfoots the fence, takes off.
No way.
Flatfoots the fence.
6 feet high?
Uh-huh.
That is unbelievable.
I was like, holy, and so I was like, oh, you just hang back here because
She doesn't have to.
Yeah,
likes it.
you're just appeasing us.
Unbelievable.
We moved. We lived in Santa Barbara. Then we moved back to Seattle. And
You lived in Santa Barbara?
90s.
Huh.
It's an interesting time. Neverland getting raided. I was there, baby. A lot of helicopters. But when we moved back to Seattle, we lived down this steep fucking hill. It's like Goat Trail Hill, and I had like baseball practice, and Akina had gotten out, and my mom couldn't get her, and my mom was like, "Fuck it, we gotta go to the game," and she's like, "Get in the car," and she's like, "I'll just outrun her," because Akina, she was my mom's dog, and she would follow her anywhere, and we had a radar gun in the back from like pitching, and we clocked Akina going uphill. I swear to God, like a 40% grade. We clocked her at 45 miles an hour.
This is the craziest thing I've ever heard.
So she was sweet. She was a handful.
And also immune to the shock.
Oh yeah, that's the strongest dog in the world.
Have you ever? This is a weird question, and I promise I'll explain in a second. Have you ever actually felt a shock collar go off?
Mm-hmm. It's not fun.
No. So our dog got over it. Dog didn't have the shock collar on. Are you already out?
Yeah, but I'm fine.
Bless up. The dog didn't have the shock collar on. My mom goes, "You got to go put the shock collar on the dog." Now me, like a jackass, goes, "No problem." Holding the shock collar, like an idiot. The two things.
That's how we all felt. That's how we've all felt the shock collar before.
Yeah.
Is because
we're dumb.
We're idiots.
Yeah. So I jump over the fence because I could jump over the fence to go get the dog, and literally it was like a cartoon, like right, like in the midair, and I just launched the thing up. Yeah. And my mom was like, "What's going on?" I'm like, "That really hurts."
Yeah. Because it's also like electric fences, so it's like terrible. The same where it's like, I learned those early because we living in Seattle. One of my friends, it's all woods and water up there.
I don't see you as a big outdoorsy guy, but maybe you are.
Oh yeah, I have to. I just I like not so much. I like to camp, but like it's mostly just like obviously I do despise this city, but like obviously I haven't heard a tree like.
Heard
like wind,
a tree?
Like trees blow in the wind.
Okay.
In 12 years. Like anytime I go back to Seattle, I'm like, oh yeah.
The whistling.
You can like hear nature. Here it's just like.
Why are you in LA? I don't feel like this is a place you would like.
I don't know.
But you're going to stay.
I don't know why I do comedy. I don't know why I'm in Los Angeles, but we're trying to figure it out.
I mean, if I said to you, and I don't believe this. I want to be clear. I don't believe this at all. But I'm just like I'm. This is all completely hypothetical. If I said to you, you're going to get a little further in your comedy career, but you and I are going to be middlings, right? We're not going to be the Roy Wood Juniors.
Yeah.
Okay. We may not even be the Danny Jollis, right? We're going to, who we talked about earlier off mic, very talented guy, doing great, but
lovely
still
boy.
not making, $1 million of comedy. We're middling. Are you still saying, I'm going to keep doing comedy and I'm going to live in LA?
I'll always do comedy. At some point, I'm like not LA. I will not die here. And I'm looking very forward to dying. But like,
oh gosh, yeah, great.
I don't know when
Dark
my
Night of the
time
Soul over here
in LA will be up. The other thing is like, as much as I wax poetically about Seattle, like, and I like the rain and I like nature, but it is the weather up there. It does because the joke is summer doesn't hit until July 5th because you can't see the fireworks on the 4th. But like it is like
really funny.
It's like a month too long. Like I will get to a point. Because June gloom is a true thing up where it's like I'm like okay, so like the dream is always like I love Northern California.
Sure,
it's like if like LA and Seattle had a kid, a bastard child, but like half my time would be in the Northwest and half my time would be somewhere in Northern California.
Why can't you do that?
I got to find like a more reliable source of income.
Yeah, I mean comedy ain't it. It is interesting though, like. And again, we talked about this earlier, but like you, have worked in corporate, but you chose not to work in corporate. The challenge for me is I work in corporate and I've chosen to continue working in corporate because I feel like it gives me more flexibility
Yeah.
to do the comedy stuff I want to do. Like,
Mhm.
I
Which is great. If you can make that work, absolutely.
well, I'm not saying it's not really challenging
Yeah.
to balance those things, but what made you just go, I don't want to do this?
Corporate,
Yeah.
my bosses, I've always had.
But you weren't willing to try a new company. You were just like, I'm done with corporate. Not, I mean, you do
Yeah.
stints, but
I
like,
won't do, yeah, I won't, like, I'll never do an Amazon or like a Snapchat again.
Snapchat I get was challenging. Amazon I've heard not great things, but like you're telling me if like a Facebook or a Google or something like that were like, hey, do you want to work here? You'd be like, no.
Facebook, no. Because the other thing is, I gotta know, like, at some point, like, I'll never work for Bezos because fuck that guy.
Sure.
I'll never work for Zuckerberg for the same reason.
Sure.
Google, maybe.
Yeah.
But like, if like DDB came back and was like, hey, you want to copyright and you can do remote, and I'd be like, yeah, okay.
Full time?
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh,
Because you weren't full time before.
no.
Right.
But like also within the copywriting realm, like on the creative side of like advertising, it's a fire drill when it's a fire drill, when it's not, you're kind of just like, oh yeah, I'm just collecting my paycheck.
I wish my current job, I changed jobs recently, is slightly challenging. I wish I could just collect a paycheck. Collecting a paycheck sounds so
that's
nice.
yeah. That's the other thing is I don't care about your company. I don't.
Sure.
Why would I?
You shouldn't.
It's so if you want me to,
Mm.
it's not going to work. Or you need to pay me an amount of money that is like
really makes you care.
exactly. So, and that's the other thing I have such an issue with, or at least American culture and our companies, is like the interview process. We've got to like, I got to dance for you. Why? Like I was working on a joke because we're doing interviews again, which I've always been great at because I don't fucking care. Like
Sure.
I don't and where I always blow it is when you get to the question they all ask is, why do you want to work here?
Yeah. I knew that's where you were going.
Am I having a stroke or are you having a stroke? Money? What?
Yeah.
I have to live. I don't
would like to eat
understand.
food.
You pay, correct?
Yeah.
Like it.
Are you willing to play the game, or you're not willing to play the game in the moment?
Yeah, I mean, I gotta get better at playing the game in the moment, but like, it is such an offensive question to me. Just on its face, it's so stupid.
Sure.
That I'm like, do you want to work here? Because I think that's insane if you say yes. If you say you genuinely want to work here,
Yeah.
I think there's something fucking wrong with you.
What if they said, what interests you about this job? Is that better?
Money.
Okay, so that's still
Yeah.
not better.
I mean,
Okay.
it's like, yeah, there's nothing like, I don't care if you're Amazon or you're Ford or you're Starbucks or you're
Right.
you're not my company.
No, I mean, do you follow the NBA at all? I know you're more of a baseball guy, but do you follow the NBA at all?
Yeah, I mean, it's a touchy subject for someone from Seattle, but yes.
Oh, yeah. Well, listen, I loved the Sonics as much as the next guy. The one thing I'll say, and I use this example all the time, right? I have a friend who didn't want to leave his company, and he was like, blah, blah, and he got laid off about 2 months later. And what I said to him is I was like, there is a player named DeMar DeRozan who used to play for the Toronto Raptors who said in multiple interviews, I bleed Toronto. I love Toronto. I will never leave you.
They did
I
him.
love this.
They did him dirty.
Yep. And then Toronto, as soon as they had an opportunity to get a better
that's the
player,
thing.
shipped him out. There is no loyalty. These companies will not
they
be loyal
don't-
to
so
you.
That's which is my parents lost everything during the market crash in the late 2000s, like everything.
Oh God.
They had put
Wow.
they had saved all their money. It was all
Yeah.
in stuff. Like they were smart with their money. They didn't blow it on frivolous things, but they had worked their whole career, their whole lives in a career they didn't like.
Oof.
And they lost everything. And then when that happened, their careers, their industries were like, oh yeah, we're also not paying you people this. We're just going to go younger.
What was this industry?
Advertising.
Mm.
And
That's the one you went into.
yeah. And they right, it was out. He couldn't get, and so I watched all that happen. And that's what made me go like, oh, like, yeah, not this of any kind, whether it's advertising or it's finance or it's insert what pays your bills here. Like these companies, they don't care about you.
No.
But you're supposed to feign as though you care about them to work for them. It is such a backwards thing to me that it's a pill I could never figure out how to swallow.
But don't you think that exists in comedy?
Oh, for sure.
You have to go to these clubs and be like, hey, like I would love to.
And there's
have
a
chance to
reason Danny
perform
Jollis
here.
has always said Justin Clark just refuses to play the game.
I
It's like, yeah, I
would
don't.
describe you that way.
Like, no.
But I definitely do play. I'm better at playing the game, but sometimes, man, it's hard for me to swallow.
Yeah.
But it is a part of it. That I have had anti-authority issues my entire life.
For sure.
I do not like authority. I do not like responding to authority. It has been a problem.
Mm-hmm.
And I have always fancied myself as someone who could outthink a situation and be like, I'm going to think my way out of this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, not hard. Comedy, you don't really have that angle.
Yeah.
You can reach out to a club 5 times and eventually you're just like, please let me perform on your stage for no money.
Yeah.
Like,
So,
it's
I mean,
tough.
with comedy, you don't really have to bend the knee to, to produce, like, I'll be like, and I don't hit people up a lot, but I'll be like, if on the occasions that I have, any show I do is usually because I enjoy the producer and they like me.
Mm.
And I'm like, and I've also never taken offense to, one of the things that's always, there is nothing more annoying in comedy than when comics get offended that the show doesn't have them on or won't have them on.
Oh,
and they take it personally.
I see.
I'm like, it's their show.
Sure.
Part of having your show is you get to put on people you want to put on. And I'm like, if you don't like my shit, I give you 1,000 reasons why you want it.
Yeah.
Like, that's fine.
Oh, of course.
If you take things personally as a comic, you're in the wrong fucking business.
I hate to interrupt this, but you're ready for the first segment?
Let's do it.
It's called the Newly Friend game. It's like the Newlywed game, but we're friends. So this is what we do. I'm going to ask you a question. You're going to write down your answer. I'm going to write down what I think is your answer. We're going to flip our boards, and we'll do the same thing for me.
Got it.
Sometimes we do different questions. We're going to do the same question this week. We're going to start with you, though.
Okay.
My question for you, and I will answer this one as well in a minute, is, and don't say it out loud, just write it down. What is your biggest pet peeve? Because I feel like you have a lot.
Oh, yeah, this is...
All right, you ready?
Yep.
Flip your board on 3. 1, 2, 3, flip. So you wrote people who say "give me" to bartenders. Oh, I actually don't like that either. That's very funny. That's very funny. The one I wrote, I said people who don't use their turn signals. I thought would bother you a lot.
The only one I fucking infuriates me.
I knew it would.
I almost wrote that. God damn it!
I really thought
that was the one I was gonna.
And the other one I put in parentheses that I thought bothers you, but I didn't think you'd write it down, as people who are too loud at restaurants.
Yeah, I mean that's essentially very much the same. The turn signal one, I was like, oh, it's so basic, but yes, I mean it is. I know I need to go home, like take a break and get out of LA and go home when I really start, my road rage comes out. But like I go to like Trader Joe's, mile and a half away.
Sure. Love
Last time finger got used 3 times just on one way there. So I was like, okay, we gotta, but like
probably time to write it in.
There was just this dude in a Beamer, very, let's say Glendale-ish, just driving like an asshole, not using, and finally we get up to a stoplight and we're right next to each other, I roll down. I'm like, hey man, your turn signal's broken. He goes, no, it's not. I'm like, oh, you're just an asshole. Got it. And I was like, that's it.
Did he?
Because a lot of times, like,
did he want to start shit?
I'm like, hey, is your turn signal broken or are you an asshole?
Did he try and start shit after you said that?
No, I mean, what's he gonna do? He's in a BMW. I'm in a Jeep. I'm driving, since the Mustang is just, I'm driving my sister's Jeep that I will crash into you. I don't give a shit. I do not care. I once had a guy who get pissed at me, and he like, this was when I was driving the Mustang, brought up the club, the club that you put across your, he goes, you want to go, bud? I have a club for the Mustang. I was like, yeah, look it, we can do this.
Did he back off? Was he like,
yeah, he didn't. He was not expecting another person to have a club.
Well, that's because the club doesn't work.
Wait, it kind of does. On old cars, it does.
Just cut it.
I mean, yeah, you need a metal bump like saw.
You don't keep a metal saw with you?
But yeah.
That's insane.
The turn signal thing.
My favorite thing to do is if you get into a bit of a road ragey thing with somebody, Jess hates this because she goes, that's more antagonizing than anything you can do. What I do, if someone's like, what the hell, whatever, I just do this. I go, hi, just wave with this big smile on my face. I'm like, hi.
Oh,
They hate that.
When people get mad at me, and when I do things, throws people every time. When I've made a mistake, I wasn't let someone was in a blind spot, and and they're furious, and they come in like, fuck you, or they'll like, and I'm like, yep, absolutely, that was right here, that 100%, and they're like, why? And I'm like, no, no,
Yep.
you are.
I deserve that.
If I were you, I would be furious.
I love that Mulaney bit where he goes, because I hear you honking. I also wish I weren't doing what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I feel that. All right. Are you ready for mine?
Mhm.
Same question for me. So I left you a little, yep, there you go. That's why I left it there. Love that. Some people don't realize, but you did.
Idiots, savages, idiots.
All right. So what is my biggest pet peeve? Let's see if you can get this. This is, I think.
I would have said chewing with the mouth open.
It's not it.
I didn't take your hint because I can't think.
All right. I was going to say flip on 3. Let's see
Slow
what you
walkers.
got. People who use spit instead of spat past tense. Give me an example. So like
just saying spit, pat, like it's spat. I'd never use spat. I'm like, no, I know spat is the correct. I'd
so
say
like
spit.
like yesterday I spit in the sink.
Yeah, it's supposed to. It's supposed
should
to
be
be
spat. Yeah.
I say spit.
I said slow walkers.
Okay.
Slow walkers to me, truly,
Yeah.
there is nothing that bothers me more than slow walkers.
I will never discriminate against someone based on the speed of their
gait.
What I will say is, be aware of it
and get out of the way.
Just like the slow lane on the freeway. What I does, and I one of the a few times in my life where I'm like, that was wrong. But people who take up the whole sidewalk, and I will say this, women who have to be walking directly next to their spouse or their significant other and like clinged. And I mean, I get it. Even when you're walking with your friend, you see him coming. If that's a single and you're with a pair, one of you dives in and drafts. All right, that's fucking straight up common human decency.
Sure.
And I was running, and
you big runner?
Yeah.
Oh.
And I got to do something.
I don't do that. Don't believe in it.
And this girl was with her boyfriend, and we're sidewalk and busy street, and he's on the street side, and I'm coming at him.
Sure.
And he can't go into the street, and I can't go into she will not. And I'm running, and I just stop, and I look at her and go, "What the fuck do you think we're supposed to do here?" I was I've been running. I was like, she saw this was a quarter mile in the making, and this dumb bitch could not solve this riddle. And
did she answer?
And no, she was just I was aggressive right off the bat, so she got a little scared. But I was like, you saw me coming. I can't go into the street, and your boyfriend can go in the street. Where did you think I was going to go? And then I continue running. But I was like, God, just fucking dive in. Just
But that's part of the slow walking thing, is also that weird tandem stuff. Mm-hmm. One time, Jess posted on social media, and I thought it was so funny because it's so real. She goes, dating a New Yorker is this view all the time. And it was just a picture of me about 10 feet ahead of her walking down the street.
Mm-hmm.
Because I just listen, I love her, but she's her own person. She's an independent lady. She doesn't need me to I don't need to be like, honey, are you okay? Like, she knows how to walk.
Yeah.
She learned how to walk before we met.
Yeah.
When she very young, I didn't know her then, and I think she's fine without me being like,
exactly.
Let me wait for you. I'm gonna walk. She'll walk. We will sort it out.
That's why independence is I need that in a significant. You can't. That's like I don't think chivalry is dead. I'm like, no, it's just defined stupidly.
Chivalry has chivalry's definition
I think
has
it's
changed.
Like if you need a door open for you, you can fuck right off.
I'll do it.
Yeah, but if you think or you want me to lie, to be someone I am not.
Oh, I see.
Like what? No, I'm not. I'm going to be exactly how I would be with you. We were going to spend the rest I'm not doing because I don't think, and I don't do it to be rude.
No.
But I don't think. I have so much faith in you as a person. I think that you can open your door. And if you can't, I don't think it's going to work because I can't worry about you constantly.
I'll do it if I remember. Like if we're walking into a restaurant, but I'm not getting out of the car every single time and opening their car door.
It is something that I'll never do.
Not even
I will
if
never
you're going to a restaurant. You won't.
I will no. When I'm in any situation, when I'm in public and I'm opening a door and someone, I'll leave it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But if we're walking up to a car.
I'm not opening.
Why would I ever open your car door?
You actually just reminded me of a really big pet peeve of mine, and this is so specific, but I feel like you have the same one. If I am more than 20 feet away from a door, Don't hold it open
Yeah.
for me. I don't want to jog over there.
Yeah.
That's exhausting.
Yeah, you're making this this is a problem for both of us.
You've
now.
created a situation now that I don't want to be in. And here's the thing: if I continue my pace I'm at, then I look like a dick.
Yeah.
But unless I jog, which I don't want to, you've now forced me into cardio, which I've just learned you like. But cardio is hard for me. I'm.
That's fair.
These bones.
You work in tech.
They're getting. These bones are getting older, man. The back crunches.
Oh yeah, no, I shouldn't be running anymore. Everything hurts.
Have you ever run like a marathon?
No, I've done half. But
okay. Throw that away. I've done a half.
Which is 26 point whatever. A full
26.2, 13.1.
And I did half 10, 12 years ago. It was, well, they don't, and I also didn't train because I was always running when I think the 4 days before I went for 2 runs of 8 miles. I was like, all right, I got this. The thing I'll tell you is fucking nipples, the nips, they chafe. You got it. For a week, 2 weeks, my nipples were raw.
What do you do to fix that? What, you put Band-Aids over them?
Yeah, you just have to I forget what I did, but yeah, God damn it. I'll tell you that.
I'm gonna be honest. I never thought about that.
I didn't either.
I'm feeling weirdness in my nipples now that you said that. I don't care for what you just said.
It was not enjoyable.
Were you doing it to prove something to yourself, or just because you were bored and had some free time?
No, buddy was like, you want to do, and we just showed up, and it ended up being a marathon for cancer, and you had to sign up for it, and we got there, and everyone had numbers, and we were like, this is in Seattle, and they're like, we don't have numbers. And he's like, I think we were supposed to sign it, and you're supposed to pay. And we're like, all right. We just ran. It shot up, the marker went off, and everyone went. We just went, and they didn't have a spotter checking for numbers and shit until the last quarter mile. And they had the guy was chasing us down. He's like, you're not. I'm like, bud, fuck right off. Not at the end. And we just outran him and crossed the finish line. They gave us our medal. They gave us our food, our banana and Gatorade and yada yada. And we got our pictures and everything.
Are you kidding me?
It was supposed to be for cancer, but honestly, yeah, fuck cancer. I'm not gonna.
I mean,
yeah.
Hopefully at the end you were like, you know what, and we don't like cancer, and then you did one of those maybe. Well,
but yeah, they had the fact that they had this guy literally a quarter mile to the finish. I'm like, no.
Why not at the beginning?
Absolutely.
I also love this guy was running after you. Because if they had
come up to us at the beginning, you're like, guys, no. I'm like, all right. But we ran the whole thing, and I'm like, 100% no. Not only am I crossing that finish line, I don't care if you're on me. I'm grabbing all the things that I want.
I just love that all they give you is a banana. Prizes. Not a lot.
It wasn't. But that's the thing. You do these marathons, you do these half marathons, and in that half marathon, there was a break-off point for people wanting to do the full marathon. So it was like a
they don't get to go through the midway celebration.
Yeah, they would have it was a whole. And I remember I did decent time, and I think there was.
How did you even get your time?
They have.
Or is there a big timer on the top?
Yeah, when you leave, there's a time.
Because I was gonna say you don't have a number. You can't look up your number.
When the marker goes, the clock starts, and they had one at the finish line.
Got it.
That was just continually running, so you would cross. Okay.
I love that you showed up for a marathon. You didn't think that you would need to have signed up ahead of time.
I also buddy was just like, you want to do this? And I was like, sure. It was just like we had just graduated college. You still a shithead.
Yes, but you seem so smart to me, and then sometimes do things.
When I showed up and I was like, yeah, this makes so much sense.
Yeah.
This makes so much sense.
Yeah, it adds up.
And we looked at it, I was like, the fact that we thought you just came in and you ran is very dumb. But yeah, when we saw all the numbers, we were like, man, yeah, duh.
I always find it surprising when you run into there are some comedians that do extracurriculars that make sense to me. I know we talked off mic about how you're in a kickball league. That makes sense. Mm-hmm. Softball league, that makes sense. I heard there was a runners club. I'm like, I don't want to. What?
That I've never seen. I don't enjoy working out, and I don't enjoy running. I do it because I'm incredibly vain.
Sure.
And we also I also have to. I'm inside all the time. It's the only way I can get the rage out or whatever it is. It's you just got to run or you turn your mind off. But I've never, ever, ever, ever wanted to run with anyone or enjoyed running with somebody. Or when I see couples running together, I'm just like, God damn it. But that, it's all into your walking point. It's slow walk it, but is someone who's close to my pace, but not. We're just in this fucking constant game.
You need to speed up.
Where I'm either gaining so marginally that we're just constantly going to be right next to each other or in this weird, or vice versa.
I hate it.
It's a nightmare. It's the same thing when you're driving on the freeway and there's someone you're going like I just want you to go like 4 miles an hour faster because I'm in this cruise mode right
Oh
now,
yeah,
and it's like I can go around you, but then I got to get. Typically, I'm in the fast lane, but because in the fast, I will do 80,
sure.
and I'm like, this is what I'm doing, and if you're doing faster than 80, I'm not moving over for you. I'm going to stay because technically you're supposed to stay. If someone's going that much faster, they are supposed to be the one that goes around. So I'm like,
Oh, I
all
thought
right,
it's always left is passing.
yeah, but when you're on, so when I'm in the fast lane, going fast,
Yeah,
and which means you're going 85 to 90,
sure.
the onus is on you to figure that fucking wall out. Okay, not me. But when I'm in with the Mustang, because the Mustang is the only time like I'm not in the fast lane because that car just is 60 feels like 100.
Sure.
But like
Hope it has airbags.
when you're trying, oh God, no.
Lovely.
Are you kidding me?
Lovely.
Barely has seatbelts, but like you've got to go around some. So they'll. I'm like, I want you to go 4 miles because now I got to get in the fast lane and kind of slowly go around you, and then someone's gonna be coming up in the fast lane and they're gonna be furious.
Yeah.
Because now we're doing a running roadblock.
Jesus. Are you ready for the final segment?
Let's do it.
It's called the lightning round. It's 5 fast questions. They do not have to be fast answers. We once had someone on here who really thought it was important to answer quickly. It is not.
Okay.
So just know that. Question 1. What is a favorite ritual of yours? So mine is making tea.
Mine is every day around 2:30. I watched PTI.
PTI. Interesting.
still
Are you
watch
more
it.
of a Wilbon or a Kornheiser?
It's ebbed and flowed. They're both just grumpy old men now.
Correct.
But they bicker with each other. I used to be more of a Wilbon. I've always used to be more of a Wilbon, but now Wilbon he's become Stephen A. Smith.
I don't think he's
they
that
hang
bad.
they hang constantly. So now he's got all of these opinions that are based in no. They were great back in the day because they were true journalists.
Yes.
They work for the Post. And I mean, now they're just glorified podcast hosts now who aren't on the beat trail, who have no inside tracks really so it's really just their opinions. And Wilbon has really leaned into just being a just angry old black man
opinions.
Who rants.
I will say I've been historically more of a Wilbon guy, but I hear where you're at.
Yeah.
Question 2, running bit with a friend or partner that makes you laugh.
Every time I see Amy Silverberg, I grab her by the neck, or she takes my hand and puts it around her neck. It's usually the latter. And then when I forget, she's like, and I'm like, yeah, okay, hi.
Unbelievable. I do also love that. I think this may be the first time that someone on the podcast has brought up a running bit with a former podcast guest.
Yeah.
That is very funny. Question 3, can you do an impression of one or both of your parents? And not a good impression. The worse, the better.
Oh, here's like the best impression I have of my mother is, and this is verbatim, I'm not gaslighting you. You're just remembering it wrong. That's a Pam Clark quote.
My favorite thing that my mother does is I'll be like, yeah, I'm like, you used to do this when we were kids. She goes, no, I never did that. I'm like,
oh my God. Yeah.
I'm like, yeah. I was like, well, me and my sister must both just be having amnesia.
That's why, like, I tell people this all the time. Like, I have a younger sister. We're super close now. She's 3 years younger than me.
This is when Erica?
But yeah.
Yeah, I met her. Lovely. Yeah.
But growing up, we fucking hate each other. We
That's
always
how
want to
it
be.
is.
Yeah, but I was like, we could see each other. When we were kids, we could have watched each other die in front of our eyes and finished our candy, like had continued eating our candy, and been like, and just walked to our mother without any urgency.
Sure.
I mean, now she's one of my best friends, but it is great having each other now, strictly because your parents. But my mom, I'll do some bullshit, and all it takes is a look. We just look at each other, and we know it's like two old non-buddies who were in the shit together.
Yeah, 100%.
You just go, and
you shared
clock
PTSD.
it, you nod, and you're like, okay.
Yeah, it is so funny that you always hate each other, because when I met her, it was funny. Sometimes you meet people's fam and they're like, oh, there's like a weird energy, whatever. She was just like laid back. She's very chill.
Mm-hmm.
It's very, very.
I've always said, Erica, like I've older brothers are the original feminists, like in the true definition, like because we treat you like you say you want to be, like you are equal.
Yeah.
You are. They torture
us the
say
same
some
way.
stupid bullshit, we let you know, and we make you cry about it. Like, and you never say that dumb bullshit again. Like, yeah, the trees are green, you dumb bitch. Like, what are you like? So I always do like, Erica is a fucking great hang. And
Yeah,
because
she's
I
great.
built her into one.
Oh, wow. Taking full credit.
She's got, I mean, look, she's got a lot of ticks, a lot of twitches. Those are me. But like,
I hope she hears this and goes, good,
Absolutely.
Justin is taking responsibility for my whole personality.
I've always tried to make a joke out of this. One of the only decent things my parents did were like, they were like, you don't want us helping you through anything. You have psychiatrists and therapists.
Sure.
So from an early age.
Yeah.
And Erica, I was like stupid. I was like, yeah, sometimes I'm sad. And they're like, got it. That's all we need here. Because psychiatrists just want to give you drugs.
Sure.
Erica stonewalled them for years. Like mafia. Erica didn't give them fucking anything.
They're like, does anything make you sad?
I mean, my mom had her go to and they're like, nothing. She won't. She gave them nothing. And finally, so no one could diagnose her, would diagnose her, even take a crack at it, until finally, takes her to one, and he comes out and he goes, yeah, she's oppositional defiance disorder.
What is it?
Oppositional defiance disorder. I'm like, oh, you mean doctor speak for? Yeah, your daughter's just 15 and a cunt. Like, please don't bring her back here.
Yeah, she just does. Yeah, that is, I don't want to play your game disorder. Yeah,
I mean, it's the best.
That is incredible.
Yeah.
Dear Lord.
My mom's like, is there anything to get? Nope.
No.
Yeah. Your daughter's just kind of mean. Please don't bring her back.
Your daughter's a teenager.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing. Question 4: have you ever experienced imposter syndrome? And if so, is there a moment that really sticks with you?
I guess in comedy, kind of always do.
Really? You strike me as someone who would not. That's funny.
It took me. I don't so much. It took me a long time to go from like, because I used to think like you have to be doing road, or have your half hour, or be, and then it got to the point where I was like, oh, the friends that I have that are doing things, I'll be on show. I'm on shows with them, and there are times I do better.
Sure.
And I'm like, at the end of the day, am I making people laugh and doing it in a way that I enjoy? But for a long time, I went through imposter syndrome with stand-up for sure.
I mean, shit, every time I see, going back to Danny Jollis, every time I see him perform, I'm like, damn it.
Yeah, I try to limit those now.
You're I'm not watching your set.
Because of that, I will, anytime, the answer to that question is, anytime I watch Danny Jollis. What do I do?
Yeah, honestly, listen, shout out. I mean, I would say go follow Justin on social media. He doesn't like it, but go follow Danny too.
Danny Jollis. I think it is just Danny Jollis.
Love him to death.
That's 2 L's.
Yeah, you're really giving it to him. Final question is typically, what's your favorite tea or comfort? But I know you don't like tea. So what is your favorite comfort?
I eat.
You eat. Anything in particular, or just you
teriyaki
eat?
is like my...
Teriyaki?
So like, teriyaki in Seattle is like what pizza is to New York.
Really?
Yeah, and it's not... People anywhere outside of the Northwest don't understand, because you think there isn't teriyaki down here. It's trash, and it's not what
we home make teriyaki in this house.
But teriyaki, like, it is. Every time I'm home, I hit my spot, Okinawa teriyaki, and
interesting.
I get there, and it's always in Seattle. It's always started by one of the parents. They're typically still working there. They don't speak a lot of English, so it's always like the daughter or But I used to go there when I worked at DDB. For my first job, it was 2 blocks down. I found it, and I'd always get spicy pork katsu.
Okay.
And it's like my last meal there. I get it every time. And so like every time the other thing that's so annoying is teriyaki places are not open on weekends. It's like Japanese, they do not. Within that culture, at least up there, they're like, no. And I respect the hell out of it, but I always fucking forget that to all go. And I'm like, when I'm on my visits, I'm like, fuck, I fly out Monday.
Dude, that's all podcast. What do you think?
We did it.
We did it. We crushed it. My man, thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me.
That was Justin Clark. You can follow him on Instagram and Twitter at Justin H. Clark. Steep Conversations is produced and edited by Elliot G.B. Our associate editor is Martin Alvarez. Our theme song and additional music are by Oliver Hymack. Our cover art was done by Neil Fraser with photography by Matt Mazisco. Social media by Dia Villegas. Please write a review and rate our podcast on Apple Podcasts and wherever else you can. You can send any questions, comments, newly friend game suggestions, or tea suggestions to steepcombos@gmail.com or tweet us at steepcombos. I'm Josh Lanzette, and you can follow me on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook at Josh Lanzette. We'll be back next week, so until then, happy steeping. What you've done with it, he goes, because the thing is, and then he goes on a whole tangent. We talked for
You
like
have
10
to start
minutes on the
doing
kitchen.
this podcast in the kitchen. I'm telling you.
I should move it to the kitchen?
Absolutely. Sit on the counter.
Yeah, just chat.
Yeah.
Sit on the counter,
Well,
not at
You
it.
sit in the corner. I'll find where I'm comfortable at.
Lay
Typically
down on the counter.
Typically, anywhere a cat would be is where I will post up.